What is going on, guys? Welcome to the All Things Considered Disc Golf podcast, where we consider all things disc golf. I'm your host, Jacob, joined as always by Cameron, virtually this time. Cameron, you're at a new setting. Where tell the people where you're at and what we're going to be talking about.
Well, I'm in Forsyth now, but we went remote today because we had our first ever tournament yesterday that we'll be talking about later. But we were both pretty tired afterwards and didn't want to wake up super early to like go meet at the store and record. So we're doing it remote today, which is perfectly fine with me. Um,
Yeah.
there's no disc golf this week, I believe. There's been a few A tiers around, but as far as pro stuff goes, there was nothing. So we're going to do a little Champions Cup prediction, first major of the year, and then finish it just talking about how our event, well, how we think it went ran, what people let us know. So that's what we got
I
today.
love it. Are we going to start with our turn or are we going to start with OTB?
No, let's go ahead and start with OTB.
All right, I love it.
Um,
Interesting development. Still don't know that I love. Also, yeah, I'll get into this in a second, actually. Yeah, I don't know that I love it being in Stockton, California. I think I'm probably in the majority there.
yeah, I think there was a lot of people not super happy with it not being a woods course, just because
Yeah,
after WR Jackson, they moved it to Northwoods, and it's not the same course, but it's the same idea. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. That makes sense.
But so I think I don't know, maybe I guess they were all saying OTB, like the OTB Open is usually a really good event. So
Yeah,
they're like, is it major worthy? I don't know. So that it'll be
yeah.
interesting to see. I don't think people dislike the event or the course or anything like that. It's just a matter of it's, you know, for a major that has hit, and granted, it's only been around since like 2021 or 2022 or something like that, but that has only been in like heavily wooded courses. It's like just like almost the complete opposite course of what you could or like what it has been.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most open. I don't know the stats on it, but I would actually love to see what the stats are on like amount of rollers thrown per tournament because I think OTB would be at the top.
Yeah, definitely. I would
I
agree.
mean, let alone the fact that like there's just opportunity to do it with wide open spaces, but it's also just like a lot of low ceiling tee shots. So like that and like I know there's a couple holes at Fox Run, I think, that have like really low ceilings people throw rollers on a lot. But yeah, I mean I'll bet OTB's probably got the most rollers thrown by the field in any given tournament, I
Yeah,
would
I'm
imagine.
guessing. But there was a few storylines that I'd been hearing about that's kind of like what I we are going to talk about, I guess. But I think there were like three main ones. And I believe it was Paul McBeth. If he wins uh Champions Cup, he ties Ken Klima with is it 18 majors?
I think so.
Number two, Ricky hasn't won a major since he won Worlds in 2015. So that's 10 years now that he hasn't won a major, which is kind of crazy to think about. And then obviously Calvin has yet to win a major. So
Yeah.
basically,
You don't want to say he's like nearing the end of his prime because he's like 26, but
yeah, but I mean, certainly something to think about because I feel like he's there all the time, but he's not a closer.
yeah.
But I do think like so I guess my question to you is which do you think is more likely to happen out of those three?
Paul Ricky and Calvin.
Yeah.
I think the most likely to happen is probably Calvin. I mean, you got to give Calvin the recency bias, right? I mean, he won it last year, no?
Did you win OTB last year?
Yeah. I,
Okay.
I literally just pulled up the 2024 and I'm looking at it. Yeah, Calvin won last year. Gavin Rathbone got second, Ranalata got third, Gavin Babcock got fourth.
What the heck? Did no one play?
Yep. What?
I said, did no one play?
Ricky got sixth, Ezra Robinson got eighth,
Oh,
Paul McBeth got 18th, Anthony
interesting.
Barella got 18th also, tied for 18th. Yeah,
How about Gavin Rathbone, Randon Lotta, and Gavin Babcock then?
yeah, popped off. Well, that's what I'm saying. All those dudes also mush. So
Sure.
it's like, yeah, so I would say just in terms of recency bias, I'm gonna have to go with Calvin. Plus, I like in my heart of hearts, I want it to be Calvin.
Same.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I really want Calvin to win a Worlds. I don't really care about Champions Cup. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
Champions Cup is okay. That's not true. Champions Cup is cool. Like it's a major, but in my opinion, it's like the least hype major when you have
Well, yeah.
USDGC and Worlds to compare it with. You know what I mean? It's not on the
Yeah.
same level.
well, and like European Open too, like even like just the sheer like you
The
know,
magnitude of the gallery and stuff at the
yeah,
European
yeah,
Open.
yeah.
I'll be interested to see what the gallery looks like in Stockton, California. Like, do they think that more people are going to go? Do you think
I
that was a part
bet.
of it?
I mean, logic would say so based on population, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, yeah. So I would say the most likely to happen is Calvin. I would say the least likely to happen is Paul, and it's just not his course. If there was going to be a time for it, it would have been Worlds last year when he had New London at 2 rounds. Like that would have been the time.
hmm.
I
Well, I
still think
mean,
it's possible at any given USDGC, Paul McBeth can win. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never counting Paul out at USDGC just because the course is the same all the time. It will never change. If Johnny McRae can go out there and score birdies, Paul McBeth can win the tournament. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that. So I'm never counting him out at USDGC. But in that same vein, anybody can win USDGC. It's not really, it doesn't really play to anybody's skill, really, as long as you can just keep the disc in bounds.
yeah, it's got a little bit of everything there.
It does. It's got long shots, it's got tight shots, but overall, it's not just like a bomber course. Whereas Stockton just is. It just
Hmm.
is. It's a long course.
Yeah, I think that's why
Now
people liked it in the woods though, is because like it required, I guess I say
some
skill.
technicality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say just in terms of Paul McBeth, Paul McBeth is not an OTB Open guy. If I'm being honest, if we look back at the stats here, oh shoot, I've got his stats pulled up from 2021, from when all the way back whenever it was an NT before they did the whole uh uh you know what I'm talking about? Where they called them like Elite Series and Silver Series. There were national tours
Hmm.
and there were Silver Series.
Yeah.
So OTB was on the national tour, and he got sixth place in 2021. That was his best finish since 2021.
Mm.
So in 2022, he got 19th. In 2023, he was in Europe and didn't play. And then in 2024, like I just said, he got 18th.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
since it was an NT in 2021, he has not finished inside even the top 15
Big.
at this course.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Paul winning is unlikely. That would not be where I put my eggs. That's not the basket I'm
That's
putting them in.
number three.
Yeah, that's if I was ranking them, I would say Calvin's most likely, then Ricky winning since his first one since 2017, and then Paul
Oh,
tying
was it
Shannon.
2017?
It was 2017.
I think I said
He was
20.
2017 world champion.
Yeah. Um,
Put some respect on his name.
yeah, it's on me. It's been so long
I know,
now.
I know, I know you're a big anti-Ricky guy, big Isaac Robinson guy.
Um, I mean, that's really all we could say about Champions Cup at this point. I haven't seen anybody's practice rounds to know how they're playing. Everyone's kind
I
of
mean, in my heart of hearts, I don't really even care about those three storylines. All I care about is back-to-back champion Andrew Presnell. That's really all I care about. I mean, let's
that.
see what Andrew's finished out at OTB recently. I
Sure.
don't know. I mean, he's even self-proclaimed that he's not a far thrower, but he's got a good roller game. He's got a good roller game. I did not see his name popping up high on the leaderboard last year. Let me just do a quick scroll here. Yeah, I'm scrolling a ways down here, not seeing it. Wait, this is the OTB. I'm an idiot. Wait, yeah, we want that. I was like, yeah, his name is at the top. He won last year, but that was Champions Cup, not
Yeah.
not this one. Uh, Man, Andrew, if he played in this, he did not do very good.
While you're looking at that, did
Wait a minute, he definitely didn't play this. He didn't go out there, I don't think,
I don't think a lot of people did.
because it was so far out on the West Coast, so expensive. Yeah, he didn't play in it. That makes sense. But he did play in it
Um,
in 2023, I think.
mm. But do you know why they moved it?
From Northwoods?
Yeah.
I think it's because they didn't want to have. Well, Northwoods is also. I think Northwoods might potentially be hosting Worlds next year again. Next year, because it's in Europe this year. Um, and I think there was something about they didn't want to have a major. They don't want to have majors and Elite Series at the same courses. I think was kind of the
But
whole
they'll go
shtick.
back to
Because then
back
they
majors in Europe.
what?
When the Europe swing happens this year, it's like it's the European Disc Golf Festival, and then like the
Yeah.
very next week is Worlds. It's back to back majors.
Yeah. I mean, that's at different courses though. I think basically what they wanted was to have Northwoods as part of Ledgestone again. And they
Uh,
couldn't do that because they used it for Champions Cup. So it was like 4 rounds at Eureka Temp, which is kind of dookie.
yeah,
Eureka Temp's not a bad course. It's just not as fun to watch 4 rounds at Eureka Temp compared to alternating rounds with
yeah.
Northwoods. So I
Especially
think
because those are like
And Nate
pretty
Heinold's
different,
the TD, so he kind of gets the ultimate set, authority there.
pretty
So I
much
think the
anything
event
disc
just,
golf.
yeah, I think the event just
We won't go
didn't.
there though.
Maybe it wasn't as they didn't have as big of a turnout because it was just Eureka Temp the whole time. I don't know.
I could see
I think
that.
it had something to do with that.
Sure. I mean that makes sense.
So he didn't play in OTB. Andrew did not play in the OTB Open last year. Let me see. He just plays so many events, kind of hard to find it, even if he did play it. I'm not seeing it here. He played Portland
I
and
think that's where most
DEO.
everyone goes.
Huh?
So I think that that's where most everyone goes.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's Preserve European Open. Yeah, he did not play. He didn't play the MVP or the MVP. He didn't play the OTB Open in 23 either. Let's see if he played it in 2022. No, he just like doesn't go out there. I
I mean, it's
respect
really
it
not
though.
worth it.
Yeah, so all that to say, I don't know how he'll I don't know how he'll do out there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And he says he's not the furthest thrower, but he throws further than just about anyone, you know, around us. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
So
I think he
he's
just means compared to like, yeah, a lot of the pro guys, he's not
sure,
the farthest thrower.
but so I don't.
He's throwing controlled, accurate 420 to 440 shots pretty consistently.
Yeah,
To really like pump it out there, he'll get it 475, 500 at most, but in his words, he loses the control. He was talking to me about that at USDGC because there were a couple shots where he's like, I could push it to like that maybe easier upshot zone, but like there's also way more room for error, or I can just throw it a little bit further back and know exactly where I'm going to land. It's like, yeah.
sure. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So maybe that's good out there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I will say this about the trees and the low ceiling. Andrew's he and Calvin have the same throwing style where it's just low and direct. He does not have like a big arching shot. It's just like laser. So
Hmm.
that could help him there.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, only time will tell. That's even
Yeah.
no, that's the end of this week now.
I think it starts Thursday.
Thursday, maybe.
I think it's a 4-day event. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. But we can move on now to the main event.
Yeah. Those are coming out in this Flex Tour stop number one, whatever we called it.
Yeah, Flex Tour because there's going to be
Whatever.
multiple, ideally. Um,
Fun day,
honestly,
I would say.
yeah, it was really fun. We had, I think, in total, we had 56 people,
Yeah.
which is honestly,
More than I
more than I
anticipated.
thought. But because ideally, and it's funny to think about now, like ideally, I would have loved to see, because obviously with the flex start, there's really no limit because you just show up when there's time. Um, but so you love to see like 100 plus people out there, but like then we had like pushing 60 and like checking players in and everything like that. Uh, I was like, I think this is a great number for the first one, just so like I can figure it out and everything. Um,
Yeah.
but no, it's super fun. I thought as far as the check-in stuff and all that, the players pack, whatever, I think it ran fairly smooth. We had one card that was like late, so I kind of had to squeeze them in between.
Yeah.
But it worked out just fine. So um, it was fun though. I will definitely do more. If you guys played it that are watching this, love some feedback to see what you thought.
I was
Um,
about to say, yeah, I think that was one thing because I'm always thinking, like, just in my job at SBU, like everything we do, we evaluate everything. So we call them after action reviews. So we need to do one of those with Dad. But basically, it's my boss got it from the Army. And it's like you basically after you do a thing. So for him, it was like a mission or whatever. You would have an after action review that was like, what went well, what went poorly, how can we improve, whatever. And I think one thing that we could have done that was better. just in terms of receiving feedback, is I would have loved to have just had like literally a QR code for like at the end of the tournament that just like tell us how the round went, what you would have liked to have seen more of. I mean, people probably would have said something silly and been like, I would have liked to have seen a better score or whatever. But it would have allowed people to be like, hey, it would have been good if, this was more clear, or if this line was more, you know, made more sense. I don't know, whatever. But it just give people a chance to like share whatever they thought. And it would also provide us like the good feedback, like, yeah, hey, we really liked this. You should keep doing this. It's like, okay, great. That was not a waste of our time. Fantastic. Let's lean into that.
Yeah.
So I think that would have been valuable, but Instagram comments are basically or YouTube comments are the same thing. So
Yeah, I was probably going to put a feeler out there and make like a post about the tournament, the event. There were two aces.
oh, two races, both on 18.
No, it was shoot, Brian, I forget his last name. I can look it up because I want to give him a shout out because it was cool. Brian Carell, ace, hole 18, first card of the day. And then
First
later,
tournament.
yeah, first tournament ever. It's crazy. And then Michael Everett actually aced 15.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I got a picture of it. It's Captain's Draft, so I'm guessing just forehand, you know, Heiser and just crashed in. I was actually pretty close to ace in that one. I was probably like 8 feet.
I was about to say I saw that you birdied it. I figured it was close.
Yeah, yeah. That one, ever since the trees are gone, is like substantially easier now.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely gonna work on doing more.
Oh,
Although I will say with the ace, there were a lot of people that were like, "Oh, ace, are we doing ace pot?" And I was like, "No, because I don't want to. We don't have any like other tournament on the schedule. You know what I mean? So I don't want to like, and we want to do like a rolling ace pot basically because it's a flex, so you can't really have people come back and like CTP for it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So we want to do like a rolling one, but we don't have anything scheduled. We're definitely gonna like do another one, I'm assuming. And so, but I didn't want to take everyone's money and then we not end up doing another one this year, and then we're just like holding on to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Some people roll the ace pot like into the divisions. So like whoever puts it in, like that money, if it doesn't get hit in the ace pot, you like put it aside and that goes towards whatever division they're in. It goes towards the payouts.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah. Some people do that. Some people roll it over. So it's just like whatever, I guess. If you want to keep track of the money or not, I suppose probably is why they why they do that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, Lake Springfield, I think honestly for pushing 60 at Lake Springfield, I think that's like a great amount because there's a lot of people that even told me that they like avoided that course because it's too hard. Um,
It is pretty tough.
it's it is, but it's also like a very fair course, and it's probably the nicest course we have. Like, because there's a lot of people that argue like Northside is a better course, but there's a lot of lines at Northside that are terrible.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
there's
I think yeah, better. I don't know if people say they're better, but they're definitely more suited to like Northside is more suited to all skill levels.
sure,
Whereas I think yeah, Lake Springfield, there are very few holes that like novice guys would be able to enjoy. Like I was thinking about um there were a couple of guys that were like walking along and playing and I'm like just playing near us. They weren't like in the
yeah,
tournament.
uh-huh,
There were some older guys, but and they were there and I'm glad they went and played and it must be their form of exercise, but like they maybe threw 120 feet maximum.
mm,
So like and then plus going up and down hills and everything, I'm like, yeah, this is just probably not like super fun for them. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. I think Lake Springfield is easily the nicest course we have in the area. And if you have the skill level to play it, it is awesome. But it doesn't meet all levels well. But whereas on the flip side of that, like a Grewbaugh Park would be too much in the opposite direction, where like open guys would be like, it's birdie or die. If I don't shoot 12, 13, 14 under, I'm not even going to be close to winning.
yeah,
And then but it suits the novice intermediate guys. So yeah, then we just need to find a course that kind of fits the medium there. I know a lot of people talked about Macaulay. A lot of people talked about North Side. I don't know if North Side is the answer. I also just logistically speaking, like it's at a church and we are trying to do these on Sundays, so I don't know if that's going to work out well.
Yeah,
Um, at least for this first year, we're trying to do them on Sundays. But I think Macaulay would be a good setup. Me and you were even talking about like where we could set up the tent and like the check-in process would be pretty easy there. Gets a little crammed, just because it's a park course technically, so a lot of fairways kind of get shared by different holes. But I think there's an opportunity to kind of find a happy medium where it's not as difficult of a course. Or if we do
sure.
that, we just need we could like yeah, there were a lot of logistics that went into like the open field was not the smallest field, but it was pretty small. It was like 7 or 8 guys.
Hmm.
MA3 biggest field out there. It was like nearly 30 people.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
fun though.
But
How did I end up finishing? I need to check that.
I can look it up because I was going to shout out winners. But for starters, we had 13 Ozark Mountain Discs guys playing, including you and
Yeah,
I.
let's go. Come
Yeah.
on.
Um, I guess we'll just do you want to just start at the top at MPO?
Sure.
Mitchell Scott ended up taking it down with a 7 round or 7 down
An
round.
absolute flame round. That was so good.
Seven down with a couple bogeys. So I
And
mean,
left some putts out there allegedly.
yeah. So good for him. He's getting that Blue Iguana gift card, gift certificate, 6 month thing. Um, Brady Fox finished second, and that's funny, dude. So shout out Brady because he finished second in the MPO. He signed up like maybe an hour before the tee time.
Yeah.
So for him to
Wait, who
basically
did?
just show and go and get second place and open is pretty impressive, honestly. But then Michael,
Brady's really good.
yeah, he's top five on the Tech Disc leaderboards, I think, in distance
Yeah.
and speed.
Brady's really good.
Michael,
If Brady could play more events, I think he'd be a little higher rated. He just doesn't get to play that much.
yeah. And then Michael Ever, Ben Lemon in Nevada, all three Ozark Mountain Disc guys tied for third at 4 down. MP40, there was only one, Sean Johnson. Shout out you taking it down. Um,
Calvin.
yeah,
Calvin Hensley, 5 down is so
yeah.
good.
MA won. Calvin Hensley took it. He actually won the event that was on Saturday as well. So
Oh, really?
yeah, weekend sweep for the young man. And then Seth and I tied it. Seth Alley and I tied it 2 down, and that was, dude. That's a 2 down. That's a lot of pars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could not putt yesterday. Granted, it was windy, so I can make that
Did you
excuse.
get any bogeys?
I bogeyed 6 and
Oh,
16, but MA40 Adam Smith took it down at 5 up. It's a really good score. Um, MA2, wow, MA2 Justin Warren actually shot even par for the day.
yep.
He won MA2 by 7 strokes.
Popped off.
Yeah, that's great actually. I'm gonna look at the scorecard there. Three bogeys, 3 birdies. And then
Brian
lastly,
got third. Izzy Jones got fourth in MA2.
yeah. And then lastly, so there were 29 in MA3. Matthew Kellerstrass won at 1 up. Kyler Probst at 2 up. Your boy Jacob Banks
Come on.
at four
Come
up
on.
there for a little podium finish. He tied with Jace Rinke, Will Bruner, and Benjamin Schipperle.
Spurley. Spurley.
Sounds about right.
Shout
Um,
out to seventh place finish there. Doesn't do him justice. Judah Moody. Met him for the first time. He jumped on a card with me and two of my buddies that were playing. Super cool kid.
yeah,
Very good. He absolutely mushes.
dude, I saw him throw on one, and I think he like when you guys were teeing off, and I think he had CTP. It was still like
Yeah, he was
a
CTP.
longer
Yeah, he
putt. But I
was.
was like, it got there really fast. So I was like, dang,
Yeah, he was like probably 35 from
yeah.
the bat, 38 maybe, just in circle two.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
We
no,
all shout out to us. I will say nothing was great, but like all of us on that card were like
bro,
within 40 feet.
yeah.
So
I was probably about there too. First shot jitters, and I a little short.
yeah. It happens.
I was doing anything to dig it, like, but to not dig it into the hillside, you know?
Yeah. Did you throw forehand?
Yeah.
You would.
I threw forehand probably off almost every tee,
Yeah.
which
Cameron
is
said he was a backhand guy the other day. It was pretty wild.
my
He's
backhand's
like,
actually
he said, I think I prefer my backhand over my forehand. I was like,
no, it was on like specific shots, but yeah. No, I mean obviously I'm a forehand guy, but I'm just saying the backhand's feeling good these days. I threw one really bad one. I threw that beat up destroyer that like I'm still trying to learn. It wasn't the disc, not looking back on it obviously, but it was on 14 and I was just trying to go like, well,
what?
I should have just thrown it high. It was like ripping headwinds. I didn't want to throw forehand and roll it over and then it just like cut roll all the way over the road. So I threw that destroyer backhand, but I guess I just threw it flat and it immediately just went "Phew," and I was like, no, but like it caught like the last limb on that far right tree and fell straight down. It there was nothing it could have done to stay in bounds except that, and it did. And I ended up taking the par. So I actually made it like a pretty decent
Wow.
putt for par. Yeah, I was about to be so mad because out of the hands, I was like, that doesn't stand a chance. And then I got lucky. So I was like, if I don't convert, and get up and down, then it was just a waste. I would rather just went out of bounds. You know what I mean? But so
That's funny.
yeah.
Yeah, overall, I would say, I mean, again, I was talking to you. I know I was talking to you after the round yesterday, and I was just like, is there anything that you feel like could have gone like worse? Like I
Hmm.
think that we were most nervous about like scorekeeping and the network staying connected and making sure that everybody's like scores were recorded properly and
Well,
that
and
was
it's
all
like,
like uploading to the PDGA website and stuff.
yeah, well, I was nervous about like the scores for a flex start because like on PGA or whatever, like you have there's like a section to check in players and then like the very next tab is round one or whatever. And so when like I'm checking
Right.
players, I just look at round one to see what's happening, but it can't start until everyone's checked in. So I'm like, well, what does that mean? But as like the first card took off from their scores were uploading, I'm like, okay, I think it's fine. So everything worked out well and like that's all through, which I think
Right.
we're just gonna work on payouts like this morning once we get to the store. But no, I don't think anything, knock on wood, I don't think anything went like drastically, wrong, I guess. You know what I mean?
I would agree.
But I mean, I had a good time. So,
I did too. It was nice. It
and
was a
we
good
got a
day.
lot of good feedback, which like I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's easy to give good feedback, but like, sometimes you just like don't even think about it. You go, that was good, so then there's
Yeah.
nothing, you know what I mean? So the fact that we had several people come up to us after the round or whatever. We had a few people like send messages after just saying, "Hey, thanks for running a good event." So that, it feels good, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure.
But
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. I thought it was I mean, and I was glad we also each got to play as well. That would have been kind of a bummer to not get to play, but it
yeah,
was enjoyable for sure.
yeah, definitely want to run more for sure.
Hmm.
But
All right, well, you got anything else for the people, Cameron?
I don't think so.
Okay, we're gonna be back again next Monday. We got to get our brother battle in for April. Spoiler
Yeah,
alert there a little bit. We only got a couple more days to crank that puppy out. So
yeah.
we gotta get that done, but we'll have that coming down the pipeline here pretty soon. You got any more 50 states videos coming out? Wyoming.
Every Friday.
Well, how many are left is what I was meaning, like from this trip. I know you have Wyoming,
Maybe like
Colorado.
7.
Oh, we still have a lot left.
Then yeah, there's only been 2 from this trip or 3 from this trip.
What, Oklahoma, California,
New Mexico.
Nevada? Oh, New
Oh,
Mexico.
so there's been 4 because Nevada was just so the next one's Oregon. All that to say.
You gotta do Oregon, Washington, then back down.
Yeah, yeah.
Those come out every Friday. All right, sick. All right, we had a goal. The goal is still alive. We have a goal to reach 2,000 subscribers by May. And it's really close. Cameron, what's the actual number right now?
I don't know.
I know you can check in like 4 seconds. So
Yeah, we're 1948.
1948. So we need 52 subscribers in the next 72 hours. Which is a tall ask indeed. But
Sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna put out the call right now. If you're not subscribed to us and you're watching this, you're at the end of this podcast, please go ahead and just hit the subscribe button. It means a ton to us, helps us out a lot, supports us a ton. So we're on the road to 2,000. That's our goal. Try to get there by the end of this month. But if we don't get there by the end of this month, we still love you guys, and we know we'll get there eventually. So thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys next week. Ozark Mountain Disc to the moon. We'll see you later.